All right. So for everyone that's watching, you'll probably be watching this on YouTube or Instagram. Today we are interviewing another influential waver. His name is Aragorn. I saw a video of him in 2000 and I believe 2014 or 2016 of this incredible waver. I felt that Aragorn, and I believe you went by the name Bishop at the time, or you still do. So I saw this video of Bishop at the time, and I thought, wow, the way he waved, there's something so different. There's something so unique about his approach. And then also in the last interview, when I was speaking with Function, he also brought up Aragorn. He said that when he went to Europe, there was a waving exchange where it was USA and the wavers from Europe. And Function said, he asked Salah, who is the person that is pushing waving? Who is that person? And Salah said Bishop. So today we are with Bishop. And I just, again, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing this time. I'm excited to hear who you are. How did you come into this movement? So yeah, Bishop, if you could take it.
Sure. Thank you for your invitation. Thank you very much. I appreciate your project and gathering the history of, as you were saying, like individuals in the field of waving and having different histories crossing each other. I think it's a good thing because in our sort of culture, we are losing a lot because also we have a lot of videos, we have a lot of music and footages from the not the beginning of hip hop dances and animation and waving, but and yeah, it's good to have something that people can refer to in terms of okay, that happened that way, and this movement, this way of thinking, motion uh, got birth in this area with these people and stuff. So I think it's a good thing in the end. I can't wait to see all the episodes. You know.
Yes, yes, for sure. It'll be on YouTube. I'll have a playlist. And like you said, I feel these opportunities are great because I think a lot of the times we just see a dancer move and we don't know where are they coming from internally and what did they go through to get to that movement? Why do they move like that? So I think this is a great opportunity for the new generation or even people now that the current generation to say, oh, I never knew that about Aragon or oh, I never knew that about this person. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess my first question, Aragorn, is where are you originally from? Where's your home? Where would you say birth home?
I live in Paris. I was born in France,
Okay.
and I've always lived in France, even though I've been traveling a lot as a professional dancer for years.
Wow.
I've been through also in when I was very young, I started like traveling in order to increase and improve my own, skills and dance and discover countries with and that's one good thing with the hip hop culture that you can go you could I mean I don't know now but when I was young you could go anywhere in the world and search on the web somehow or make connection with people and find who are the hip hop dancers over there and
Mm,
connect with them instantly. And that was a very, very nice thing to live when I was like about 20 years old, something like that.
okay. Wow.
So I've been traveling a lot, but I've always been based in France, and I still live in Paris now,
Okay.
and
Nice.
yeah, that's where I start dancing as well.
Nice. And when did you begin dancing? How did this begin? Did you see someone, something? Yeah, tell us a little of the origin of Bishop.
Okay. Okay, so I will try to start from the very, very beginning.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Uh, So when I was very young, when I was a kid, my dad used to have paintings of his own at home. Okay, he was drawing and painting.
Mm.
And home I had some paintings with like curvy volumes on them. You know, there were lines and curves and lines that were making a contrast between one space and another space. And
Hmm.
that impacted me very, very deep. Like when I was about 4 years old, somehow, you know, it was like, oh, it's like I already felt that a curve is something dynamic that contains somehow sort of a mystery. That
Hmm.
is something that's in the mystery of a dynamic of the dynamic of a curve, which is very different from a line. You
Yeah.
know, you can't say where it starts and where it stops. It's an ongoing motion. It's something that has no beginning and no ending.
Wow.
So I don't know. I explained this that way today, but it was just like very primarily impact that I get when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, there was this movie called Flashdance,
Yes.
the
Yes.
movie.
Mhm.
In this movie, you have the Rocksteady crew performing at some point. You know, you
Right.
have the street dance picture, and the very first movement you see in this movie is uh, a top dance movement from I believe that the dancer is called Normsky.
Hmm. Yes. That name sounds familiar. Yes.
Chomsky, yeah, and it does this. You won't see it all, but it does this very elastic movement in the video. So you are I don't know. We were following the main characters in the movie, and they were going out of the gym or something like that, you know. And then you switch on the street view, and then you have this little kid doing like a very elastic movement, you
Mhm.
know.
Yes.
And what he's basically doing is with his whole body is creating a double curve,
Hmm.
one curve and the opposite one just the second after that. And in this very movement, I recognize the effects of the space pressuring on one line, you know, that
Mhm.
related me to that what I saw in the pictures, in the drawings and in the paintings, you
Right.
know.
Yes.
And it's like he made this very dense at that moment. He made those lines alive.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
So that is the very, very beginning. After that, not much. When I'm 15 years old, uh, you know, I just hang out with friends and stuff, and we don't have much to do. We don't have much money. We don't have, you know, nothing to entertain ourselves and stuff.
Right.
So one of my friends, he just broke up into a gymnasium,
Hmm.
the gymnasium from the school. He
Mhm.
just broke the door somehow, and we could go there at night.
Wow. Okay.
So it was a new playground for us,
Mhm.
and so we sneaked in and we started to move, you know. But we had no class, no hip hop class of any sort, you know. We just had like inspiration from TV, from you know video clips,
Hmm.
a lot of them, and we started moving. And at that moment, I started to move in this way, you know, of feeling the music and finding back again this elastic movement of space moving the lines in the body. You know, that was the very beginning for me. You know, for me, dancing was meaning transforming the physical body into something very elastic, something a material that you can, you know,
Mhm.
stretch and bend you
Mhm.
know
Mhm.
and twist and in every direction.
Yes.
And I believe also the inspiration deeply comes from what we see in the nature, you know. Like I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's worth asking everyone. Every every waiver I know, every waiver that exists on Earth, I really believe that there are these sort of people that can contemplate water flowing in
Mm.
the river for hours, you know,
Yeah.
because it's never ending movement.
Yes.
Every second, the movement is a new one, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and you agree with me, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's something that exists outside, you know, you just have to be open to it, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and this also is something that I don't know delivers some. one thing that is bigger than us, something that is bigger than me, and maybe unconsciously I was aspiring to that condition, of
Mm,
being so free and so new every second, So the physical experience of dancing for me was this one.
wow.
How can I become something that just never stops and is always new, and is
Wow.
challenging my feelings, my sensations, creating new sensations all the time.
Mm,
It was also a way of escaping the everyday life,
mm,
creating, having an experience that is so strong that it takes the place of everything else inside, worries, sadness, whatever.
right, right.
It takes the place of this. So somehow it was a way to escape this very flat reality that we live in, you
Yes,
know.
yes,
And yeah, through sensation and images in the mind,
yes.
that was basically the real purpose of me dancing was this.
Wow, wow.
And this ongoing movement that is both never ending and unpredictable, like the water flowing through the river.
Right.
It's never ending and unpredictable. Okay. It has to get those two conditions in order to take me out, take me away, you know,
Wow.
this or drug, maybe,
Right, right. Because
this
there's
or
similar.
drug.
Right, right.
I had that choice.
Yes.
And yeah, that's the way waving was strongly suggested to me. So
Okay.
I grabbed it, and it was not about. You have to understand this. To me, it was not about creating an effect towards the outside, outwardly.
Right, right, right.
I wasn't trying to do a trick, like a magic trick. Magic trick, yeah, hey, look, dun, bam.
Right, right.
And somehow in the history of waving and hip hop dance, that's what people do because it has been inspired as well by the mime Marceau, you know,
Yes. The mime.
in the
Yep, yep,
beginning.
Marcel. Yep.
And the mime is actually a magic effect, like there's nothing and there's something,
Yes, yes,
it's it's somehow a way to show something,
yes,
right?
yes.
That's one very basic foundation of hip hop dance as well.
Yeah.
But the way I started to move was not that. It
Mm.
was in order to not to entertain people. It was in order to mesmerize myself, which
Mm.
is the very different goal.
Yes, it's a different. You're not outside, it's inside. It's
Yes,
into,
yes, because we were dancing in a closed gymnasium by night.
right?
We had no
Nobody.
audience.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the goal was to mesmerize myself, actually, to create an experience for myself.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, you started to meet new people. Oh, there because you get interest into the movement. You
Right.
want to make new experiences. So, oh, there are some dances. There are some guys that are practicing over there in this high school, and some others are practicing another dance there. So you go and you see, and you start sharing, and then you get reactions around. People are enjoying what you do. So you get it. So you transform the very first goal of doing something for within
Mhm.
into doing something for the audience.
Right, right.
But it's that difference in the beginning is very, very important. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
And then so but because why do I explain that? It's because that very first goal of mine, it has determined the way I developed the
Right,
waving movement. Okay.
right, right.
Because when I was in the late 90s, when I started dancing, it was 97.
97. Okay.
97. I was 15 years old. Okay.
Okay. Wow.
97.
Mm.
So 97 and early 2000. I'm sorry, just have to check one thing.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
I'm sorry about that. I have to answer a quick message.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah, no, no worries, no worries.
You can maybe you can cut that part.
Yeah, I could cut that. I could cut that.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Okay, sorry. Yeah, yeah, late 90s, early 2000s, the culture basically in that was that the dancing was starting to be on the web. You,
Mm,
at the beginning of we could find videos on the net, okay, on
mhm.
internet to have new
Right,
inputs.
right, right.
Before that, we were watching video clips on TV, as I told you, and VHS, of Michael Jackson movies and stuff like that, and also a lot of martial arts, martial
Mm,
art movies and stuff to learn new way of you
nice.
know jumping and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, nice.
But at that time, we started to have that video culture growing up,
Hmm.
and people started to put some videos on the web. I remember the very first, maybe the very first one that is about the waving history is Liquid Pop Eric
Yeah, LPC, right. Liquid
with
pop.
the lighter and with the flipper stuff,
Uh-huh.
with the black Adidas jacket he
Right.
had.
Yeah.
That video, it's one of the first, that
Wow.
we
Right.
saw in Europe.
Oh,
So, and we had that website, Style de Ouf,
okay. I think I've
Style de
heard of
Ouf.
it. I think I heard of it.
Yeah, they were the very first website in France, broadcasting videos of b-boys and dance and hip hop dancer from all over the world.
Wow. Okay.
So we were looking for videos and stuff like that. And because of this, because of the culture of images and footages and videos, dancers were more and more uh, 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 having their dance space as a flat space
Hmm. Hmm.
because they were facing cameras, as they
Right.
were facing mirrors beforehand. They were always in front of the mirror trying to do something that looks like that. You
Hmm.
understand this?
Hmm.
I'm trying to do something that looks like that. That's what people were doing.
Right.
Okay. And the video increased this thing
I
because instead of being you in front of yourself in the mirror, it was you in front of the camera in front of many people.
right. Right.
So so they were dancing, facing something. But when I started dancing, I was not facing anything.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
And of course, I was inspired after that by many hip hop dancers, and wavers and stuff. As I mentioned to you by message, like Damon Frost, but
Oh.
the old videos from the 80s when he was very thin like this,
Yeah. Yeah.
with the red hoodie and stuff, and
Yeah.
and those videos that were crazy for us, and many different popping tackle, of course,
Uh-huh.
and the electric boogaloos. Uh, uh, dancer from the movie Breaking, Boogaloo Shrimp,
Mm.
uh, name them. I mean, there's so many.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so of course that was part of my inspirations and stuff because
Yeah.
every new movement to me was like a new experience to do,
Nice.
new
Nice.
way of vibrating,
Yeah.
and then at some points, because of getting deeper into the hip hop dance culture and the popping rule,
Yeah. Yeah.
the huge wave of popping and boogaloo over
Yes.
the
Yes.
world, over Europe, from the early 2000s as well, when the electric boogaloos came to Paris. I believe it was 98 or 99, I don't remember.
Oh.
But they came over and they changed the game in France and
Mm.
in Europe. So, okay, no, 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 no. You have to do things like this. You have to do things like this. So I was in that generation at that point. The same generation with Iron Mike,
Okay.
Richard Pop,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Mehdi, Hassan Paspop.
Oh.
Uh, we're all in the same generation from France,
Okay.
and we had that same influence. And at some point, it must have been it must have been like 2006 or 7. I told myself, hey, stop, stop. You have to go back to what it was in the beginning for you.
Oh, did you find yourself kind of losing your like yourself? Did you feel
I didn't find as much satisfaction in the movement that
Hmm,
I used to have.
okay?
Okay.
Hmm.
And not as much power, I could say, that, okay, I mean, uh, chaining movement like this, like boom, da, boom, da, boom, da, boom, then this, choreography like that.
Hmm,
It's so basic, this is not the dance I wanted to dance.
I see.
It was
Okay.
not like that. Because it's such a simple rhythm. Boom, ta, boom, ta. It's simple music. Okay.
Hmm.
I don't say it's bad. I say it's simple. Simple is good as well. But
Hmm.
it's simple music. Okay. And it's not polyrhythm.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's polyrhythmic.
Right.
And I come from something that needs more complexity. My
Hmm.
brain needed more complexity.
Okay. Okay.
So at some point I was thinking, okay, you know what? Let's go back to what it was in the beginning. And I came back to this elasticity in the body,
Hmm.
which drove me to the fact that I have to be moved by the space from outside.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
And very quickly I realized that, okay, this is one layer of movement.
Hmm.
Okay. But in order to get into more complexity, I can put layers upon layers upon layers. Like
Hmm.
when you look at the ocean, okay, the way the ocean is functioning, you have the deep tide, right? Okay. And that deep tide is bringing the wave movement, okay, upon the tide, okay. And on top of every big wave, you have smaller waves. And
Yes.
on top of smaller waves, you have very small ripples,
Wow.
by the wind,
Hmm.
So that is the dance I started to develop.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
Meaning, okay, at some point you have that circular movement that is just ongoing on and on and on and on and on.
Hmm.
And upon that movement, you have another way of moving, okay? And upon that, you can add little ripples over there without losing any part of this. So
Yes.
I needed those layers in order to create an experience that was overwhelming me. I
Wow.
wanted, because I told you in the beginning that the purpose was to mesmerize myself, So I had to have that experience that is strong enough and complex enough
Mhm.
for me not to have time between
Mm.
things to be bored.
Right. Right. Hmm. Hmm.
So, and I believe my influence, if I had one, my influence into what is waving today starts there. Because wavers were waving like this, showing
Right.
wave.
Right.
Look at that. You see, like, yeah, Mr. Wiggles, great waver, great influence. Okay, the way he was showing waves was so powerful. But that's exactly what he's doing. Showing
Mm.
wave.
Mm.
But I started to think different, and I said, okay, I don't show anything because actually I can't show if there are 7, 8 waves at the same time. What do I show? I don't
Right.
have to show anything. There's waving all the time. You
Yeah.
have to look at whatever your mind can grab, you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
And that way, instead of having a two-dimensional space for waving, I started to grow a space that was more three-dimensional, you know?
Hmm. Wow.
And actually a wave, I can leave waves that maybe you won't see looking at me
Right.
because those waves are not for you. They're not for the person who's looking. Those
Yeah.
waves are for me.
Yes. Wow. Wow.
I don't need you to see.
No.
I don't create waves for you to see.
Right. Right.
And this way I developed the wine style technique.
Yes, I've seen you post about that. Wind style technique. You go
Wine style actually.
wine style. Okay.
Yeah. Winding.
Winding. Okay. Okay.
And yeah, most people think it's wind style because you can relate it to the wind, but actually it wasn't meant to be wind style. But it doesn't matter. I just needed a name to encapsulate the technique. And
Okay.
I don't say that wind style is a dance. It's a technique in order to increase your physical experience in waving.
Wow. Okay.
Okay?
And wine style is the layers of the waves.
Yeah, it's
Layers,
the it's
layers.
the yes, it's the process of layers. The first one is circle. That I won't develop it right now, but
Right, right, right.
that's the first one. The second one is the chain system, that everything is linked to something else. Okay, everything. And so and the third one um, is the curve.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you can put it in any order, it doesn't matter, but
Okay.
there's something that is never ending.
Hmm.
Okay, the the fact that the space is moving into curves without creating waves. Okay,
Mm, right.
and upon that you have the chain system, that everything that is impacted will bring something else.
Mm, wow.
Okay? So that's the basics of this technique.
Yes.
Just a physical and technical, approach to movement.
Hmm.
And I've been teaching this. And actually, I mean, at that point, there was a great transformation in the way I was moving. And you can see on the videos, maybe the first one I posted like that about this was 2008.
Hmm.
I'm still on YouTube. I mean, dressed in blue in front of a blue wall.
Okay.
And yeah, the video I started to post on YouTube at that point, I know they had a great impact on waivers because they told me
Yeah.
from Russia, Spain, USA, whatever, wherever, China. When I
Wow.
went to China in 2008, I had people coming in the club and saying, "Oh, you Bishop, I saw the waving video, da 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 da." And I think I don't mean to be someone important in waving. Honestly, I don't care. But but because the interview is about what's the history, of the
Yes.
evolution of waving, like my point is that the because of the reason I had to move that way, I started to, I mean, different reason made me move in a different way than other hip hop waving dancers, you
Right.
know. And so I started to move in a different way, which I told you was more three-dimensional, and more complex in terms of layers that you
Mhm.
can add to one another, and 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 create a new complexity in the waving movement.
Mm, yes.
And you can see that on my videos from the very from 2008 and so on.
Wow.
And also I remember I had a battle against Damon Frost in Paris.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
on YouTube?
yeah. It's on YouTube. It's on I Love This Dance.
Yeah. Wow. I need to watch that again.
Um,
Okay. Yes.
um,
How was
for,
that
for, for,
experience?
for for a few years, I started to post regularly some new videos about that wine style technique and that way of moving. And I know it inspired some waivers
For
because
sure.
because because maybe it connected them back to that capacity of contemplating and being so much absorbed into a movement that has a mystery behind.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah, that's what I'm relating to when I think about waving. I think about that mystery and complexity of the movement of the wind,
Yeah.
in the branches, or the movement of the water in the river, or
Hmm.
the very natural things that are so simple and so complex at the same time.
Yes.
That was my passion.
Wow.
I've always been obsessed with things, with that little thing,
Wow.
because it's so powerful somehow.
Wow.
And yeah, I've been teaching wine style for more than a decade, like 15 years now, in
Wow.
Europe, in Berlin a lot.
Mhm.
and the Germany scene of waving is not growing very much. And
It's not going, you said. Or it is it's
now
oh,
it's
okay.
going it's going up. That you have a we have a wave within qualifier in Berlin.
Right,
And
yes.
I know the dancer over there, and yeah, I've been teaching there for several years.
Wow.
And, and yeah, that's pretty much the history of it. My view on waving and how I had a maybe very small impact uh, on waving. And
When
now I can see dancers. I'm sorry, and I can see dancers are pushing, bringing new things. And when I see Inox, Inox
yes,
from
yes.
like he's the dude who's maybe more obsessed than me.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, even more. This guy is he was in Urban Nation.
Oh, he was
The
okay.
battle you mentioned, he was there at that
Okay.
time. He was
Wow.
there, and Jay Smooth was judging the battle, and
Okay.
yeah,
I
and yeah, Inox was there, and now is I mean his technical skills, his technical level is so high. It's like mm, mm,
yeah.
like
I know he always does like those waves where it's like something happens over there, like boom, boom, like
yeah,
these
yeah,
weird, like out of nowhere. Like I don't know how to
yeah,
explain.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
he has his own way of thinking things. He has his own mind, and you can see the mind of the person into the way he activates the body.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. And so I mean, that's one that I appreciate because the level of complexity and technique and innovation in the movement is very high. You know,
Okay.
it's
Wow.
something that I like.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, when did you start to form like a real how do I say? When did you start to connect with the West Coast? When did you start to connect with the wavers on the West Coast, like Jay Smooth and
Hmm.
that scene?
Uh, uh, I believe I met Function for the first time in 2004
Okay.
when he came with Popular and
That was the event.
Vera.
That's what he was talking about. That's what he was
Yeah,
sharing. Yes.
I think it's 2004 to Juste Debout.
Yes. Okay. Yes, he mentioned that. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, we had some exchanges like that in the battle. That was cool.
Yes.
And I don't remember when I first met Jay. It was later on, but it was. It's funny because it reminds when he came to Urban Nation in 2015, 16, I don't remember. He was judging the battle, and and he was remembering that the first time he met me, he approached me and said, "Yeah, I see you love waving the same way I do." And I answered him, "No, I love it more." And he was sort of offended by my answer.
I love it. That's a great story. That's great. I love it. That's
No,
great.
but because, it's, I mean, we have something in common with Jay that we are so much into this, that we value this so much
Yeah.
somehow,
Yes.
uh, that we somehow we're human beings. We want to possess the thing,
Mm,
and
right.
and
Like our
and
child. It's our baby.
yeah, 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 yeah. And possessing is not sharing easily,
Mm,
So,
mm.
nah, you like that, but no, maybe it's not the same thing. Or you like that, but me, I like it more. It's
Right,
it's
right,
very childish. It's very stupid, but it's funny. Nah,
right.
I mean that was like years ago. Okay,
Yes. Oh, no,
but
wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was
Okay.
fun. And also, I mean, different dancers I met, like in going to battles and stuff.
Mhm.
I came across different dancers, a lot of them, but I can't remember the chronology of it.
Okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
What do
And
you what
the
were
West
you,
Coast, so connecting to the West Coast was very late for me. I
okay.
remember I came also. I was judging sort of the first true waving battle
Hmm.
um, in Baltimore, organized by Dark Matters.
Oh, Dark Matter Crew. Yes.
Yeah, they
Yes.
organized the waving battle that Poppin Todd
Was that when he won?
won. Yeah, he won.
And Cool Hand Luke was there.
Cool Hand Luke was there,
Yeah.
and I was judging with Jay and Tiny Love,
Yes.
and the whole at that moment the whole crew of the West Coast the G style
Yes. Yes.
they were over there, and of course they came, and it's funny because the Dark Matters people they warned me like, of course they're gonna be there. You're not from here, so they're gonna come and challenge
Alan.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Okay, and that was very ridiculous somehow.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean the attitude. I mean,
Uh-huh.
what's the point in being a good dancer if you have a shitty human attitude?
Mm.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Mm.
So yeah, being disrespectful or I mean, turning a party that is supposed to bring people into some state of
Right.
joy
Like
and you
ecstasy,
know,
freedom,
yeah,
love. Right.
turn that into something so serious and heavy and what's the
Mm.
point? I don't know.
Wow.
Anyway,
Okay. Oh, yes.
anyway,
I know
but
that was on YouTube. I feel everybody was, oh, G Styles there, G Style there at the event, or someone from the crew rep. Oh,
yeah,
there was like this a years of everyone was like, uh-oh,
yeah,
what?
but in the end, it's just business.
Yes.
This is the marketing,
Right.
tactic.
Right.
Because the technique, the dancing, G style, I love it. It's so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
It's authentic. You can relate it to a place and to peoples, and the energy of the G style is so nice. Really, it's not the way I move, but I like it so much. You know, but I mean, if you want to make it product, if you want to turn it into a product that you want to sell people,
Mhm.
and you create a whole narrative around that, you know, I mean, I don't know. It's not my stuff. You
Right.
know,
Right. No.
keep it simple. Keep it
Yeah.
simple. The dance is great. Don't do anything else. Don't behave in a certain way in order to emphasize the something else, or try to sell an identity or whatever. Identity is a great problem, I believe.
Mm.
Also, that brings us to another point. I really believe the question of identity, I won't say in the world, I would say in dancing, identity is a trap.
Hmm.
It's a trap. If you identify yourself with, oh, I'm a waver, that is this what you are really? Yeah,
Mm.
come on. You
Right.
are so much more than this.
Hmm.
And that's something I regret in the hip hop scene.
Oh, in
I,
that.
I can tell now because I'm 43. I'm out of the game.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't I don't expect anything anymore. I don't need the dancing scene. I don't need the game. I don't go to party anymore. I don't
Right.
care. I have other other life,
Yes. Yes.
other things to do. So I don't care. But when I look back in more than 20 years of dancing and battling and creating performances and stuff, the thing that I regret from the hip hop culture and the hip hop scene is this one. Is that I
Hmm.
mean, we're just human beings. Relax.
Right.
Just relax.
Let
It's just having fun. It's not serious. You won't save the world with that. Come on.
there's so much going on in the world. It's like you kind of zoom out. Like what's going on really here? Like we love this movement, but there's people dying in other it's crazy life. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can
Um,
do something good with this, it's nice,. But don't take yourself too seriously. And
right.
I also took myself maybe too seriously at some point.
Mm,
I was part of the problem.
mm,
I don't criticize just to say, oh, they're bad. No, 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 no. I was part of the problem, I believe.
right.
But that's, I mean,
Right. But you're aware of that and you say it. You say, "Hey, you're speaking it out." You're
Yeah,
aware.
and also because even very lately, I still see people behaving the same way with the same criteria, of they want to protect some identity.
Hmm.
What for?
Okay.
Relax.
Hmm.
Really.
I have questions. I have thoughts I like to ask. Actually, you talked about you've been battling, performing for 20 years. What were some of the battles that were a highlight for you? Like a battle that you, I don't know, maybe it left an impact.
That left an impact on me.
Yes, yes.
The one that I was in, you mean? Not an event that.
Yeah, it could be one that you were in, one you saw, or what would you like to share? A battle that you
Okay.
would, yeah.
I remember. I will go maybe chronologically. I remember watching the videos on VHS about the Radiotron
Oh, yes, yeah.
with a flat top,
Yes.
battling and doing those crazy animation effects.
Hmm.
And I believe also there was Mr. Animation was there.
Yes. Hmm.
And yeah, that event, I wasn't there, but that event had an impact,
Wow. Okay.
definitely.
Nice.
That for sure. Uh, the one of the best memories I have of a battle I was in,
Yes.
maybe was in Canada with Monster Pop, was the Jack of all trades.
Oh, okay.
When I was over there with Rashad and Mofak was the DJ, and I mean the atmosphere and the whole spirit of the events was really cool. Was really
Wow.
cool. Yeah, Montreal people they can entertain you. They're good. I mean, I
Wow.
feel those guys. I love them really. Monster Pop and Boom Beast and uh, and oh my God, sorry. Namco
Mm. Hmm.
and yeah, all the dudes that I really appreciate their vibe. The vibe is great.
Wow.
That's yeah.
Wow. I know a lot of people talk highly about Jack of all trades. A lot of people have said that's
Yeah.
one of the most favorite of best events they've been to. So that's really cool to hear more people sharing that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I've been to Juste Debout several times. That's not the event I like. It's too big, too crowded, it's too much.
Mm.
It's too big for me. I like things that have a human size.
Yes, yes. How
Yeah.
about performances? What is one of your favorite performances?
My favorite performance, in within the one I did myself,
Hmm.
my favorite performance I would say is the a creation that I made with company 1420 a few years ago, and it's called Ellipses.
Okay.
And
Mm.
it's a magical. We are creating performance for the stage using magic technique, like real magic, disappearance and sorry, ubiquity and things like that. And I will put a video on YouTube very soon, I believe, of some rehearsals
Nice.
of this.
Okay.
Uh, and we developed a system that where I control the lights with
Oh,
my fingers. I have uh,
oh, nice.
them in my arms where I control the lights.
Nice. Nice.
So I can switch it on and switch it off in different way,
Mhm.
fading or cut.
Ooh.
And that way I can give a rhythm to the scene, and I create an illusion for the people
Mm.
because the black becomes like a moment that does not exist.
Oh,
So
wow.
I make the audience believe. I play with the audience perceptions,
Hmm.
and I make the audience believe that I teleport from one spot to another one, or at some point there are two of me.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah,
That's,
and it was a short performance of 30 minutes, and it was very simple but very, very effective in my opinion. And
wow.
yeah, from the performance I've been doing in 25 years of career, This is one of my favorite, definitely.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to see that. That sounds amazing.
Now
Wow.
it's over. We don't throw that performance anymore,
No. Okay.
but a good one. Yeah,
Wow.
you know what? Now I'm in a different way of creating waves, right?
Yes. Yes. A question actually I have is you are part of the Wave Gang, correct?
Yeah, I
What?
believe I am.
Yeah, I believe, right? I think I see your name on the the Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
No, I mean I say that because I haven't been very much. I talked to Jay yesterday
Okay.
or 2 days ago
Okay.
on Instagram, and I had to step out a little bit because I have so much other work to do
Mhm.
now in the visual arts field
Oh,
that I can't stay this much active on the dancing scene.
I see.
And but yeah, I'm part of the Wave Gang. Yeah.
Okay. I guess what I'd like to ask is what would you say is your maybe what is your goal or intention being part of the waving community now? Like what is it that you is there something you want the current generation to know or I guess what would you say your role is now with waving in the current generation?
I have no role.
No role. Okay.
No. I have no role. Once again, that would be like saying like I have to. No, no, no. Me, I have no role. If you come to me and with questions, it will be my pleasure to answer questions,
I see.
definitely. But I have no role.
Okay.
But uh, for some people, their role is to teach, and maintain something. That's a good thing.
Hmm.
You know, and I appreciate this. Okay, I've been teaching for years, and I don't think that's my role anymore.
Mm.
Now, there yet something that's maybe there's something that I can say. I don't know if it would have any impact,
Hmm.
but I see generations, the one before me, my generation, and the next one. My generation, when I'm talking about J Smooth, Function, even Enox, I put him in my generation somehow. I'm talking about Salah is my generation. Uh, and the generation before is Poppin' Tackle, Hugo, uh, uh, Damon Frost,
Mm.
those people.
Right.
And the new generation, the young generation, who is about around 20, 25 years old now, each generation has lived in a different context.
Mm.
Different context wrote different necessity for movement.
Hmm.
And thus, different uh, consideration and different uh, 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 usefulness for movement, different uh, use of movement.
Mm.
And as I was telling before, me and people like me and Jay and Enox and even Todd and Slim, uh, we're obsessed with something when we do this.
Mm.
And because we're obsessed with this, we can go very deep in the practice. I mean, for hours doing the same thing again and again and again with nobody looking, without expecting any recognition or without expecting any sort of outwardly benefit of it.
Hmm.
The benefit has to be somehow inward,
Yes.
you know, because there were no other path, there were no other deal to make, you
Right.
know.
Hmm.
So at some point for my generation, going into a room and practice for 4 or 5 hours straight,
Mm.
just for the practice
Wow.
was enough
Mm.
for us,
Right.
you know, at some point. Even though we've also fell in the trap of fame and success and maybe money for some of us, and we fell in those traps as well. I don't mean that we're better people. We're not.
Mhm.
But we were able to go into a room and practice with the music as just do it. Just
Right.
just just do the thing, do this, and that's enough. I don't expect anything else but me and the practice.
Yes.
And I think that the young people, they don't have that anymore. They're projecting there. I feel that they have more expectation from the outside world because now it has been it's bargaining, you
Right.
know, and they have more reason because the social medias, for example, they give you feedbacks so quick, you
Yeah.
know. So why would you wait? You can do little things, feedback. You do
Right.
one little thing and you have a feedback. But we didn't have that. We were doing things without expecting any feedback. So when we had feedback again against something that we've been working for hours, you
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
And if you don't work for hours freely, you don't reach the same thing, you
I see.
know.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the new generation is sort of missing something.
Hmm. Interesting.
There's something they don't obtain from the practice because they don't have to practice this much. They
Mm.
don't have to practice the same way. They don't have to practice without expectation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
It works for them. It works to expect something in
Right.
any context because no matter where you are, you can always post something.
And somebody will like it, somebody will say something.
Exactly.
Wow.
But if you cut off your medias and you just spend a month every night from 10 to midnight, you
Mm.
go and you practice on your own. And then you're gonna know what my generation was doing. And we were doing this all year long.
Mm.
That's what I was doing. And even I wasn't with them, I know they've been doing the same. I know
Yes.
Function and they've been doing the same, you
Right.
know.
Yes.
Every night, go and practice. Point.
Interesting.
Two.
Wow. What do you feel of since we're on the topic of the current generation, where what are your thoughts on where waving is now, especially in Europe? I
Mm.
know this sounds like multiple questions. I guess I'm kind of curious of what your thoughts are on what waving is in Paris or Germany. Is it different? Is it the same? What would you say your thoughts on the current way of waving?
I from my perspective, from where I see, and I don't see everything. Okay, I see a little bit.
Hmm.
Okay, from what I see, waving tends to globalize because people can get the whole cake now.
Yes.
They don't get just one piece. You
No.
know, they get okay. They can see my videos. They can see Jay videos. They can see people from Asia. You
Right.
know, they can talk very quick to people and get uh, 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 um,
Like tread gems, getting
yeah.
learning so
If
much.
they have a question, they just connect, they write, and they ask. You know, and they get answers. You know,
Yeah.
and so it tends to globalize. I mean, the
Hmm.
less diversity maybe in the end,
I see. Okay.
which I would say is sad, but it depends on how much people are going to be original, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And to be original, you have to do what I told before. You have to lock yourself for a certain period of time and work your thing, you know? You have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, then you will wave the same way everybody does, you know?
Right.
And yeah, I mean, I hope it doesn't turn this way, but from what I see, that's the way things goes, you know.
So,
That's and I mean, yeah, the recipe is very simple, you know. We be with yourself, be with yourself, work on your own, you know,
hmm.
and work on something and dedicate your living energy to this thing, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it something will come out.
Something
Something
was.
will come out. But first you have to give from yourself. You have to give time. You have to give energy. You have to give feelings. You have to give your heart, whatever. You have to give your. If you're a very smart person, give it to the practice. I mean,
Mm.
makes plans and elaborate intellectual, very tricky things, and then something will come out.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have to invest first.
You have to
Mm.
invest. Nice. And I think that's a great message for the current generation to hear and kind of soak in hearing your words. I would like to ask outside of dance, what does Aragon do? What does Aragorn do outside of dance?
For a few years now, I've been switching artistic practice. I used to be a professional dancer and choreographer, and now I tend to be a visual artist
Visual
in
art.
the field of Arabic calligraphy that you can see behind me.
Oh, okay, I see.
That's what I do now.
Wow.
And it's a different way of,
It's the
mastering
curves.
curves,
I love the
waves,
curves. Yeah, you kept the curve no matter. It's always
no
there.
matter what. Yeah, man. Yes, yes. And yeah, it's I don't know. There are different reasons for that. But in the end, it's funny, but in the end, maybe dancing was not the best path for me in order to grow,
Hmm.
and liberate myself from my own chains and loads.
Yes.
Yeah, because dancing brings so much passion and representation and showing off. you know
Right. I
it's a lot
see.
about showing off, and it's very easy to fall in the trap of showing off and believing that you are good because people appreciate the way you move.
Yes.
But it's not it's not because you're moving good that you're a good person.
Right.
I
Right.
learned that the hard way.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
so 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 yeah, it's good to separate. Like when I create an art piece now, people are looking at the piece, they're not looking at me.
Mhm.
And they say, okay, oh, this is nice. And I don't confuse myself with this.
It's
This is
separate. It's
Yes, yes.
mm,
It's a lonely practice as well. Visual art, you have to be on your own as well. And I don't know, the process of feedbacks and how it reflects me to myself. I don't know. I feel that's a better way for me to keep learning and growing and yeah, maybe improving. I
nice.
don't know.
Okay. Okay. Moving forward into the future, is there any dance related projects that you would like to create or even outside of dance with your visual art? Is there anything that you have planned for the future?
The future is one big project actually. It's
Hmm.
just one big project. Like stick to the practice and make it pure somehow, if I may say. Make it pure, meaning clean yourself.
Okay.
With it, clean yourself with it,
Hmm.
and yeah, the higher I go, the better. You know,
Yes.
but it's important to understand that when I say the higher I go, I don't mean the more success I have.
Hmm.
Maybe it's not about success at all.
Hmm.
Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe
Hmm.
when I say the higher I go, I mean the closer to the real quality that I value in life I get. The closer to those value I come, the
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And it has to do with it's difficult to say.
It's something
But
very deep. It's something very
yeah, yeah, yeah.
nice. Okay.
It has to do with liberation. That's
Liberation.
difficult.
Liberation. Okay.
Yeah.
What would be a message you would like to? I know you've shared, I think, some wonderful messages for the current generation. We've already been talking, but if there was maybe one message you would like to tell the world It could be dancers, it could be not dancers, but what would be a message you would like to share for people that they may see this video, they may know who you are, they may not know who you are, but what's a message you would like to share?
Related to the whole discussion we had, uh, what seems relevant to me would be stay connected to the inside, to the inner dimension of what being is,
Mm,
you know?
mhm,
Because yeah. I mean, very simple thing. If you're not able to be on your own, quiet for 5 minutes and be at peace,
mm.
maybe you should start working on it,
Ah, yeah,
you know? And that's true with whatever you do in life, you
right.
know? Because the once again, the benefit of being connected with your inner dimension and spiritual dimension, maybe, you know,
Mm.
that is also a key to progress in whatever you do, whether it's waving or painting or, you know,
Relate
marketing or, you know,
relationships with others. Right.
everything, you
Mm,
know. Don't forget that the only person you have to, the very first person you have to be at peace with is yourself.
mm, right, right.
That if dancing helps for that, go dancing. But be careful because maybe you choose something that doesn't make you at peace. Maybe it distracts you from
Mm.
the fact that you're not in peace.
It's a distraction. And dancing could be, for some people, it could be a distraction not to look at myself.
Exactly.
I see.
Exactly.
Okay. This came up to my mind. How did you get the name Bishop?
That from the that was from the X-Men when I was a kid.
Oh, the X-Men. Okay.
Yeah, the X-Men, yeah. I just love the character, you know.
Okay.
It was strong, it was big, it was powerful with, you know, electricity and stuff.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay. Wow.
and yeah, it became a nickname for me, you know, to in the my with my dancing fellows friends and you know
Yeah.
and yeah, it's funny that question because in hip hop we like so much to have like you know names and crews and name for new. It's like we are everybody's getting into hip hop is trying to build a new family. And I know for some it's for real, you know, it's true, you know, and it's a trend. I mean, it has always been a tendency in hip hop, I suppose, for people to have like you know dancer name or nicknames and you know crew names and it's not that I need that, but also I have something that now everybody kind of knows what Aragorn means and where it comes from and how you spell it.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to think 25 years ago, when I say, what's your name? My name is Aragorn.
Like,
What?
right, right.
I had that all the time, you know? So having a nickname was very useful.
Uh-huh. I see. I
You
see.
know?
It just keeps it simple.
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's the reason why I got that name. But I mean, I don't use it that much, but yeah, it just stayed.
It just stayed. Wow. Nice. I would also like to ask a few more questions I like to ask is, do you have experience with modern dance or contemporary? You do?
Yeah. From the very beginning, when I was like, when I turned professional,
Hmm.
I was about 18, 19 years old.
Oh, okay.
Uh, from the very beginning, I was eager to learn different things, you know.
Okay.
And so every occasion I had, because uh, the step sister of one of my friends, she was an African dancer. So
Okay.
we went to a workshop and we learned a bit of that. And we were giving hip hop class in a school where the boss was a tap dance teacher. So
Oh,
we learned a bit of this as well. And I met a choreographer in France who was a choreographer from the US, from New York, but was contemporary dance choreographer. And so I learned a lot with him. And I mean, it was all about meeting new people, but every time I had the occasion to learn something new, I just did.
nice. You were open to the experience, just taking it in.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah. And
Wow.
I enjoyed everything. Ballet, contemporary, African dance, tap dance, capoeira, everything.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow. I guess this is a kind of a random question, but do you have a favorite movie?
Yeah. 2001, The Space Odyssey.
Oh, that's crazy. That movie's crazy. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, tell me
yeah.
why. What was it when what was it about that movie?
It's very spiritual
Mm,
and it combines science fiction, which for my generation is something like strong in the culture, science fiction. I always loved science fiction, you
mm,
know, yeah, technology and future and
yes.
it's a very spiritual movie. It's sort of a reflection on what is it to be a human being. I mean, beyond our physical world.
Right.
And it's so beautiful, and it doesn't age. This movie just does not age.
Right.
You can see today it's a crazy piece of art.
Yeah.
You know.
And it was so
Yeah.
ahead of its time.
Yeah, you
So
can you so much that I mean the conspiracy theory just started to get birth around the movie. How did he do this at that time? You
right.
know,
Right.
like the technology needed required to do this movie. How could they do that at that point? Because it's very close to the image we had from the moon. Remember?
Yeah, a lot of people said right, right. They're like, did he make
Yeah.
the moon landing and all the
Yeah. There's a whole conspiracy theory around that, but I don't care about this. But yeah, it's a really great movie. Yeah,
wow,
Kubrick, Stanley Kubrick is such an amazing director, like crazy. I love all of his work. Is wonderful.
wow, wow. Yeah. Well, I think that's yeah, that was the last thought I had. I want to thank you, Aragorn, for sharing again your time and getting to know you and beyond the dance, getting to know who you are beyond the dance. And I want to just thank you again for your journey and for continuing. I'm glad that
Thank you very much.
you continued to pour yourself into this dance and 20, 30 years later now, we're having this conversation. So
Mm.
I want to
No,
thank
I
you.
thank you. I thank you very much because it was very lovely. It was very I appreciate it very much. It's very nice, and I really believe that the way you do this, it's a good thing. I value more the human values and human experience over the concept of dancing itself. I think what you do is a good thing, and I'm also very curious about you. What's your journey, into dance and stuff?
Yeah, I know someone needs to interview me so I can
Yeah, definitely.
at
Yeah. If
some
no one's there, you just poke me and I do the interview with you.
Okay, okay. I'll let you know then. I'll let you
Yeah.
know. But again, thank you, Aragorn, for sharing, and everyone that will be watching this on Instagram or YouTube. I'm glad you're enjoying the journey, and yeah, I'll continue this waving series, and we'll see who will be next, who I'll be talking with next. So,
Yeah. Also, it makes me think that you have to go east. There are some people on the east that you have to reach out to.
ooh,
Like,
anyone in mind you like to share?
yeah, and Anton Klimat from Moscow.
Hmm. How do what is his name?
Anton, Anton,
Okay.
Klimat, Klimat.
Okay, I'm gonna look into
And
that.
you can find him on Facebook or whatever media you can find him
Okay.
because he invited me years ago in Russia to teach as well, and he has always been a stone in Russia for waving, you know?
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Okay.
yeah, yeah. And he's a very good guy.
Okay.
He's a very good guy.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'll see. I'm gonna reach out to him then as well. All right. Well,
Cool,
thank you
man.
again, Aragorn.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully maybe I'll see you at the some wave event, or if you're ever in LA, or if I ever go to Paris or
Yeah,
you
sure. Hit me and yeah, sure. Let's share again. No
yes, sir.
problem.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much, James. Thank
Yes,
you.
take care. Take care.
Bye.